Hey everybody, David here again, bringing you another war recap from Journey, Ohio. Today we're going to be talking about our recent war against, I guess we'll call it VTV, is kind of what we've been calling it inside chat. We did just finish up a war against Hagar here, which we may or may not talk about later. It wasn't a super interesting war, but this last one against VTV was actually pretty fun and interesting. Once again, it was a close war. Once again, a clan put up 95% on us, which was a really impressive job. These guys came to play, no doubt about it. And once again, we continue a little bit of a disturbing trend where we do well up top, but then we leave some stars on the table down towards this min and middle TH9 range. So not great clearance overall. Definitely Journey still adapting to this world of no prep day and taking longer to hit after we get to see what the bases are and so forth. We wanted to do something a little bit different with this recap. Instead of talking about the attacks that went really, really well, quickly we can acknowledge some six-pack heroes, although I think it's just me and Jimmer that had the six-packs this war, and I know no one wants to hear more from us. Bruiser had a great war. These are both dips. However, and I don't think anyone else. Jaden had a nice war, but that was a dip as well. Yeah. And so, two six-packs there with me and Jimmer, and I know no one needs to see more replays from us. So instead of talking about the ones that went well, what we thought we'd do is take a second and talk about what went wrong. So we're going to pick out a couple replays here that didn't work out as expected. And, you know, we all have these attacks. I know just this war I flubbed an attack, the one that we're in right, just finished there against Hagar. So bad attacks, I don't want to say bad attacks, failed attacks happen all the time. And we thought we'd take just a moment talking about them. You know, we call ourselves a teaching clan. We want to learn from our mistakes and let others take the opportunity to learn from them as well. So we're going to open up here with G-Love going against Dent Girl. And he's got a kind of the Journey Classic. This is kind of where we settled on our QueenWalk VaHo. You know, I think this is roughly the base configuration a lot of us use. The only thing that's interesting about this one is 1 heal, 2 rage instead of 2 heal, 1 rage. The 2 heal, 1 rage is what I'm used to seeing more of. The 2 rage, I think more of a mass Valk attack. We're going to try to hit everything super hard and then get out before anybody knows any better. As always with a GoVaHo attack, excuse me, with a QueenWalk VaHo attack, I'm thinking about using the Queen to try to neutralize some giant bombs and help with my Valk pathing. And my Valk, I'm trying to get into both expos and the core. That's what I'm trying to do. So taking a look at this base before the attack starts, there's a couple places giant bombs could be. You know, there could be some weird ones up here for sure. There could be some giant bombs over here, potentially trying to catch the hog's pathing. There could be some giant bombs right here. There could be some giant bombs right here. These are the possibilities for where the giant bombs might be. If I'm doing a fresh hit against this base, I'm probably going to attempt to walk the Queen in such a way. I might even, you know, I know he's going to come in here up top, and I think that's a decent way to come in. My main thrust is going to be about the Valks. What I'm going to try to do with the Valks is either get them in here, and then try to place a jump spell over here that's going to take them through core. Or more likely what I'm going to try to do is come in from the right side here. Get them into this compartment with some wall breakers, which gets this expo just with wall breakers. And then a jump spell here gets me to the next expo through the core. And then that will also serve to neutralize any giant bombs I might see here. If there's giant bombs here, they're going to be neutralized. That's my thinking coming into this ahead of time. If there's giant bombs here, they're mostly neutralized. Let's get the Valks cut through the middle of the base. So with that said, a QueenWalk either along the top or the bottom would be fine. That's just what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking as I look at this base fresh. So, G-Love comes in on the top, which is fine. Queen's going to start doing some work. We've seen this a million times before. At this point, he's got 2 point defenses on him, but he's not worried. That 26 Queen is plenty beefy enough to handle it. We do have a cannon and a gold mine up over here, and this air defense is about to go down. This is the perfect time for a minion to be coming in, cleaning up that gold mine, cleaning up that cannon for free. So I'd love to see a minion release here. And these wall breakers come in, which is going to let the queen in further, which is an option. And I guess from here, he's going to try to pull that CC. He lets the hog down to pull the CC, and I see what he's trying to do there. That minion would have sure been nice to clean all that up, because the hog didn't make it into the CC aggro ring. So now he's going to have to wait a little long. He drops one of his rages on the queen. That's fine. Not preferred, not ideal, but had to spend a rage there on the queen. Continuing to go along. Now a Valk comes down, which he's hoping to get to pull CC, but it walks because he still didn't take care of that gold mine. So one of the first things we're just here to talk about is funneling. And now the queen has decided to walk all the way outside. We have a jump that's going to get him to one of the expos and close to another. Although we're not neutralizing most of the giant bomb locations that we've identified, most of the possibilities. Queen continues to walk. Now comes the LaLoons, now comes the CC. Some giant bombs do go off. I'm not sure if I identified those initially or not. There's actually a good giant bomb swing. Good poisons down. But the Valks are not pathing through the core, and I think this is the problem from not having any other set of wall breakers down with the Valks that are coming out of the CC and only coming with the wall breakers to let the queen in, is we didn't really get to control the Valk pathing. The hogs were a little early for my tastes, and double giant bomb bacon. And we still haven't addressed this Tesla farm over there, which was going to be a problem, and ended up taking out the queen. So the biggest things that I would have suggested here mostly are entry. It's mostly for me about entry. Is where we can try to get the Valks. If we're going to try to get the Valks in the core, then let's try to blast open a side compartment somewhere. Let's try to blast open a side compartment and get them through, instead of blasting the queen to do a deeper dive in. I realize that it's not going to pull the CC, but you didn't end up really pulling the CC anyway. And I'm not sure what the range on this thing was. Oh, we had a pretty decent range. So if we had come in from the right side, a couple different things we could have done there. So I think overall the critiques here are probably 2 rage instead of 2 heal would have been preferred. Keep more of those Valks up earlier. Better entry point in as well to get those Valks through the core would have been my preferred. Dr. Chasemaker against 19. Dr. Chasemaker against 19. So we've got a nice open base here. This is a pre-Valk base, so this should be vulnerable to Valks. He's got a GoVaHo built here. 3 jump, 1 heal. I have to say right off the top, I love the troop composition. I love the troops. I love the thought here. Lots of different things to do. There's one expo that's completely vulnerable. There's another expo that's going to be accessible by giant bombs, by wall breakers. The only thing we need to be conscious about is this silly little platform up here that we're going to have to wall break through. So we brought 4 wall breakers. I probably would have recommended more wall breakers for this base, just because we're going to have to blast open a hole in this, possibly this top compartment as well as the side. Okay, good. He gets the queen taken out there, so that's going to eliminate that as a wall breaker target. Tesla farm pops up. Heal over the Tesla farm I think is great, and here come the wall breakers too high. So those wall breakers come in, and they're targeting this junction, when really we want to try to get them in over here. So a couple ways to deal with that. You could have brought 2 waves of wall breakers. Maybe release them lower, although the more I look at it, the harder it was going to be. It would have taken a better funnel once that golem was down. It would have taken a better funnel to get more troops in there at the top, chipping away here, or just would have taken some extra wall breakers so that after they blast this one open, they move a few inches and blast this one open too. You don't often go wrong having too many wall breakers. Now down here the raid is going on. The Valks have gone off the side. He's put some poison down, but it's too late to do much good for them. The CC Valks and the CC minions chewed them up. And he put down this jump as a last-ditch effort that was also too late to get everybody inside. So this raid really went off the rails just from wall breaker placement. And then let's talk really fast about what happens when the Valks do start to walk. It's going to be forever. Let me restart this thing, and we'll just talk quickly about how to recover from wall breaker walking, or excuse me, from Valk walking. So after the wall breaker fail, yeah, see, he put those wizards down to funnel, but he got them ahead of the golem, so they didn't do as much work as you would have hoped they would have done. And those Valks are so early as well. So early on those Valks. heel down, and these wall breakers. Not enough of them out in the right place. So at this point, we have the Valix walking. And now we've got a jump spell here. And the general best way that I'm aware of to recover from this situation is to end up using the jump to try to coerce those Valix back inside. I'm looking at this junction here, because if I can do this, then at least they're going to end up in this pocket. Maybe they'll swing up this way. That's my best hope. So this is kind of where I want my jump spell to be. So right now I don't have a whole lot of funnel left, but I've got enough that I can lay down right now as I see those Valix walking, a wizard. I hate to even say it, but as soon as that archer tower locks on those Valix, it should just be wizards massive over here, trying to arrange it so that this whole section is cut away and those Valix cut back inside. That's what I would have recommended. Instead, they come down here. See, right here, if there had been a jump down there, it would have hardly taken any funnel. They just would have hopped that wall and gone back in. But instead, we leave them out, and now they're just taking fire and fire and fire and CC dominance. So, good troop composition, good idea. Bad entry point. Ended up with a wasted jump, bad recovery from Valk walking. Sandman versus 21. Sandman versus 21. Wanted to talk about this one. So this is going to be a GoHo attack, which is lovely to see. We have so many GoVaHo attacks from people that don't know how to do GoVaHo attacks. It's nice to see somebody getting back to Journey basics. Witch is down, Golem's down. Could we have pulled CC here instead of... we probably could have pulled CC and I would have recommended it. Just a single hog in to get that CC out, then archers to draw them up. And handle those guys with a poison and some witches and a queen. And maybe a wizard or two would have been strongly preferred versus handling them on the fly. But you can still handle them on the fly. But I'll tell you what, I could use that poison now real bad. So here comes the queen, the witches, and that dragon's just teeing off on the golem. Golem's been split now, teeing off on witches, teeing off on wizards, teeing off on everything you can name, still no poison. So this is just forgetting a poison. We're going to call that the first big mistake, is forgetting the poison. Now everything is occupied, the defenses are occupied, the queen is down, the CC is out. So it is a lovely time to start the hogs. And I do love the hog entry point. Right, he's going to bring them in right through here. I don't see many double bomb gaps at all in this base. They're going to sweep around. You can just picture heal, heal, heal. And it's going to be a really beautiful raid, I think. Good entry point, good concept, good thought. In come the hogs. Now, as soon as those Teslas pop, man, that's a Tesla farm. Tesla farms deserve respect. They deserve heals. So we're late. Right now, there should be a heal down. There should be a heal down this second. No need to wait anymore. So here come the hogs, and they're just getting chewed up. We've got a bomb going off. The Teslas are just eating. Now there's a heal down. It's just a little late for my tastes, man. We're just down too many hogs. Still a good number. Oh, man, the enemy queen didn't get engaged. Excuse me, I thought she was fully engaged. And, of course, she wasn't fully engaged because the CC beat up on some of the incurring troops. Well, the queen did finally take care of that queen. The hogs are still going. We're down to 2 heals. Decent heal coverage there. Oh, just a little off. And now we're just running out of hogs. Another heal goes down to try to take care of it. So this is a story of a heals that were a little bit too late, poison that was non-existent, CC that should have been pulled instead of engaged straight on. Those are the areas of improvement I see in this attack. It's a shame. So many great ideas here. Right entry point, I think, with the strike force. Right idea with the hogs. Just no use of the poison. Heal was slow. Okay, so I've been getting help from some of our strongest hitters on this critique. I'm actually off screen. I'm reading the little notes that some of our hitters have left about what went wrong with these attacks. I don't think I'm God's gift or anything. Sam here versus 12 is trying one of the attacks I know very best in the world, which is the QueenWalk LaLoon attack. I do love this attack. He's coming with 19 loons, which is a ton. No funnel needed because he knows what his queen is going to be doing. Right away, I've got to talk about it right away, this heal. I've seen Sam use this heal before on these QueenWalk LaLoons. I see other people using the heal to try to keep the lava hounds up. I am never going to be a fan. I'm never going to be a fan. This should be 3 rage. Should be 3 rage for the QueenWalk LaLoon. I just can't get behind the heal. Can't get there. So he's bringing the queen up top. You can see what his goal is going to be. this is the same base that G-Love attacked. This is the same base that we just saw initially Graham come after. So he saw Graham get in and ended up getting those 2 air defenses with his queen. And Sam said, heck, I can do something like that. That's no problem. If I can get those 2 air defenses with my queen, I can build on that and turn into a successful LaLoon. And I love to see that. I love to see an attack, a GoHo attack or a GoVaHo attack go not very well, but see a QueenWalk successfully get to something and another player build on it. Again, I'd love to see a minion right now. I'm all about high-value minions. Queen's moving in. And it's clear at this point that she's going to get both air defenses, as we can see from the way that the sweepers are pointed. We have got 1 up, we've got 1 down. So at this point, if it's me, now that I know she's going to end up with the other air defense, we still need to wait for the CC. But as soon as that CC's out, I'm going to start thinking about dropping those lava hounds. As soon as that CC's out, I think about, here does come a minion. Not a perfect placement, so he gets chewed up before he gets to do too much good. So Queen's still moving in. Down goes the air defense. Here comes the cannon. Yeah, we're taking a little bit of fire. Level 12 Queen. I think we're going to be okay. He popped an ability. Probably not needed. Probably not needed. And in comes the Lava Hound and the Loons. They're coming in from the right side. I like the spread. A haste to get the Loons into the base. One other thing I don't like here is instead of leading with his CC Lava Hound, the level 4, he's leading with his regular Lava Hounds. Always lead with your CC Lava Hound. You want it to absorb the most damage. See, here it comes late. He does do a nice job timing the second Lava Hound to get there alongside the second set of Loons. As the first Lava Hound disappears, the third one comes in. And poor attention to his queen. Poor attention to his queen. Couldn't keep the queen up under just a little bit of fire up there. And the reason was, didn't drop the rage. Didn't drop the rage because didn't have the rage. Didn't have the rage because he brought the extra heal. So the queen wasn't up helping to clean. If the queen had been up helping to clean right now, this would have been 3 stars for sure. If we would have dropped the first Lava Hound would have burst into more pups instead of less pups from the level 2 Lava Hound, and that would have been a clear for sure. I don't think an earlier release was necessarily a good idea. But the main problems I have here are the heal instead of the rage, which would have been useful. He let the queen get away from him, and the way to solve that would have been to fix it with another rage. We had a wasted queen ability and a wrong Lava Hound order. I think if any of those mistakes had been avoided, I think we would have been looking at a 3-star here. For sure. Because let's see what happens to this queen. She's got a level 3 Expo on her and Archer Tower. Right now, of course, we could have had 1 Loon in from the side. It would have cleaned up. It's hard to make that play, though, when you're just worrying about the lava Loon attack. But as soon as that queen steps through, you can see her going redder and redder and redder. And he had a rage there in the bag. He didn't use it. He must have really wanted it for his Loons. Oh, and he dropped that heal down on this set of Loons, too. Double rage there would have kept things moving much more nicely, kept the queen up, and then she would have finished clearing out this whole compartment. She would have taken care of this, she would have taken care of this, and that's a clear. So, that's what I have to say for Sam versus 12 here. Wrong spells, wrong order of lava, poor attention to the queen at the end, or early ability in the middle. And that's what I would have cited there for things we could have done better. Next we have Dave versus 15. So we've got another QueenWalk VaHo. Again, looks like similar to G-Love's composition. Got some minions here, got some wizards here. And I'm looking at this. For me, it's all about getting the Valix to the core once again. A couple different places. This could be bombs, these could be Tesla. There's other places bombs could be. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of openings here. I don't know if this has been hit before or not. My main goal will be getting probably Valix in on one of these corner spots and then jumping them into the center. That would probably be what my move would be. Or even into here, walk them around and jump them into center. Something like that would be what I would think of. So he's going to come with the queen over here from the left side, which I think is fine. You know, there's so many different openings, it's hard to discriminate and pick one versus the other. Send a minion down. I think he was trying to send his queen north, but then he puts 2 minions up top, so maybe not. Not sure what he has in mind now. Only 2 wall breakers, which isn't a ton. Okay, so his queen's going to be clearing off this area here, and now his king's coming down. So his queen's going to be handling this. So I'm immediately thinking, okay, well then maybe what he's going to do is Valix in here and jump him over into core. But then his king is in a surprising spot. I would have expected his king to get dropped maybe over here or possibly over here with all the Valix in here if that was the case. So the king's a surprising spot for me. Lots of wizards down. Monster over funnel. Raging the queen up to help with the king and the CC loon, which is fine. Here comes the wizard to help with that. And so now he's going to bring those Valix in from the side. And you can do that. You know, we've got some wall breakers there. That's fine. It's not what I would have thought because this compartment's already cleared out. But that's going to work. It's still going to be, needs to be a jump right here to get those Valix into the core. Got to get those Valix into the core. And here comes a heal, because of course the Valix also started right next to the lava hound that the queen was handling. That's another reason to start those Valix a little bit further down. And here comes a jump, and you know, we got the Valix in, but look, they had to beat through a wall first because the jump was late. The jump also only got access to one extra compartment. So you bring a jump, I mean, let's get access to a few compartments at the same time, not just one. So we brought a jump, got access to one compartment. The lava hound pups are eating up at him. They just blew up a double giant bomb. These guys needed a heal inside the core so much faster. But he saved the heal. Oh, now the heal's down. It's tough with the Valix. You don't see him alive. It's hard to tell when they're dead. But that heal's about 5 seconds too late. There's still a few Valix in there banging at a town hall. Maybe? Maybe there was one in there? And now the hogs are coming through. They did run into the giant bomb. But core's a great place for a heal. Core's a great place for a heal. And now the queen's going on. I think it's just a matter of time now until this is game over. And of course, no poison down to help with the pups. So, it was an odd entry point for the Valix. Much closer to the CC that the queen was handling than I would have preferred. And then once you got her in, once you get the Valix in, I know it happens so fast with the Valk attacks, especially for those learning. Once the Valix got into that first compartment, then it was odd to make them beat through the wall instead of helping them out with a jump. Once they did beat through the wall, the jump placement was odd again, only getting them access to one place. And then the first heal, I understand why you did it, because the pups were out on the Valix. I would have preferred to move them through faster so that the pups weren't doing damage instead of healing them there. And then that second heal was terribly late. And so that's what I would suggest on this base. So, you know, this is different for us. Usually we just like to show the good attacks and everything working well, but, you know, some of us were talking, we thought it might be a really nice idea to just kind of show what went wrong and talk about maybe things that we can learn from. So I hope this has been useful to you. I hope nobody feels, you know, bashed or caught off guard or insulted or in any way demeaned by this. I mean, listen, 2 stars and 1 stars, I say it all the time, guys. The gap between 1 stars and 3 stars in this game is so thin, so small. So if nothing else, you know, just take it as some interesting points of view, some interesting feedback from some of the guys, some of the strong attackers that were sitting inside a chat room. We were just saying, hey, what would we say to these guys? How would we go to some of these attacks and say, you know, what we recommend? And so just take it and, you know, chew the fish, spit out the bone. As always, I hope it helps, and insert catchy phrase here. Catch you guys next time.